Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. No exciting, yo, what's going on, guys? This is a pretty somber video. This is going to be a 10 to 15 minute, probably vent sesh on my New York Islanders. Lost in 5 games to the Carolina Hurricanes. I just got to get this out. Got to kind of rant on this team. I know this isn't the most algorithmic, positive, going to go viral or anything like that. I just want to talk about my favorite team, and maybe you guys will enjoy me just being a sad bastard for the next 10 to 15 minutes. But they lose to Carolina in 5 games after losing to Carolina in 6 games last year, not making the playoffs in 2022. And it's the same story every time, man, especially in this game. The fact that it was tied. It wasn't, at least they weren't up this time. They were tied, let in a goal immediately right after letting a goal. It's the same thing, man. Carolina comes out, plays great, goes up. New York Islanders show some life. And then in the third period, shit just hits the fan. We thought that this wouldn't be the case anymore once we fired Lane Lambert in the start of the season. It was third period blown leads. This team had so many mental lapses. And under Patrick Roy, don't get me wrong, they were far better. He should get another season with the team for sure. I think he is a good head coach. But the fact that it was just the story of the Islanders season. There were some very good parts. They really fought back. They showed that they do care. But at the end of the day, they just don't have the talent, man. They don't have the talent. They can fight hard. I think they played Carolina closer, not to pull off a Rod Brind'Amour that this wasn't a 5-game series. This wasn't a sweep. But I think they did play Carolina pretty tough. I think any Carolina fan is lying to themselves if they said that they just took care of this New York Islanders team. Series could have easily been 2-2 at this point entering this game, without a doubt. When you look at them blowing that lead, even in game 1, it was close. But the Islanders just don't have major difference makers at this stage. And Varley played fantastic, but you can't rely on him for the only other team to score 1-2 goals a game, just grind out wins like that. They just don't have difference makers. At the end of the day, Carolina has difference makers, whether that's Gensel, Jarvis, Svechnikov, Aho. It's just the talent is so apparent. The Islanders can play people close, but at the end of the day, come third periods, they don't have what it takes, and they don't have the assets to, speaking about now on the future a little bit, they don't have the assets to go out and get those high-level players. They don't have any prospects to trade. Their first-round pick is going to be what? 18th overall, considering Washington's is going to be 17th. They're stuck. They're not even stuck in they're not even stuck in no man's land. I'm just not even wrapping my head around what the plan is going to be this summer, because last summer they run it back for the most part. This summer, they can't do anything. Maybe they end up buying out Anders Lee. He looked very good in the playoffs, so now it sucks. He was horrible during the regular season. He plays very good in these 5 games. You're going to trust the larger sample size or the playoffs? I have no fucking clue. Lou Lamoriello is going to be the general manager. He is. Patrick Roy is going to remain head coach, which I'm 1,000% down for. But Lou Lamoriello is going to remain the general manager, despite him signing Scott Mayfield to a 7-year, $3.5 million deal. Sorokin, oh my God. Oh, so the Sorokin contract is looking horrendous now. When looking at Sorokin, he needs to see a psychiatrist every day of the week for the next 3 to 4 months. That's probably the most concerning thing on this season on the whole. Because when looking at it, yes, the Islanders didn't have offensive difference makers, but they had that Vezina, potentially best goalie in the entire NHL. And Ilya Sorokin crapped the bed for the most part this season. And in the playoffs, he had one of the worst 1.5 period stretches I've ever seen from a goaltender, and then just looked distraught on the bench. So going forward, do they try to move off Ilya Sorokin? I have no clue. I'm not sure what team is going to willingly take on an 8x8.25. Maybe we can trick Brad Treliving into taking it, saying this year didn't even happen. It's a fluke. He's still the goalie from 2023. But when looking at the Islanders, yeah, man, it's just mediocrity on top of mediocrity. I really don't know what the plan is going forward. They don't have the prospect pool. I don't know how I'm going to turn this into 10 minutes. Actually, I got an idea. But when looking at it, the prospect pool is bottom 3 in the entire NHL. I don't trust them to draft that well. Yes, they did draft. Was that even? Yeah, that was Lou that drafted Dobson, but also Wahlstrom and Holmstrom is looking a little bit disappointing. But it's just stuck. They're just stuck in the middle of nowhere for the most part, and there's no hope. Everybody is signed for the most part when looking at it for the next 3 to 4 years. Do you try to move off JGP? I'm not so sure. He had one bad play tonight. He whiffed on it. I think it was the Jack Drury goal. Whiffed on it. Drury collects it, rips it. I don't know, man. I probably should have prepared notes for this because now I'm just rambling. But they're gonna need a lot. They're gonna need Pelech and Polak to really step up. I don't think that they were horrible this season, but they definitely took dips down. A lot of their core pieces took dips down. The only guy that really elevated his game, Barzal had a maybe coming to form. I think it was more considering he just has the offensive talent. They finally let him play with some speeds, play with some space. He finally had a fellow first liner to play with in Bo Horvat. But besides that, Noah Dobson was the only guy on this team that I can think of that really elevated his game. Everybody else either stayed the same or just had better players around them or just went straight down. Oliver Wahlstrom, worst Islanders pick since Michael Dal Colle. I'm trying to think who else. I'm probably blanking on someone, but he's gone. See you later. Romanov played good. I don't. It just stinks, man. It just stinks because this team was so close in 2020, so close in 2021. Final Four, playing Tampa, eventual Stanley Cup champions, and they didn't get it done. 2021 is actually my living hell. I replay that every night before I go to sleep. It sucks. It stinks. And when looking at the Islanders going forward, it's not only that they're not going to improve and only get worse considering their internal factors. It's the fact that they made the playoffs in the Metro 3 spot. That Metro 3 spot's not going to be there next year. The New Jersey Devils are going to replace them as the third team in the Metro Division. I think that goes without saying, as long as they can get half-decent goaltending. So you have this average core. You're just going to run it back the next 3 to 4 years for a wild card spot because the Rangers, not Capitals, Rangers, Hurricanes, Devils are all miles ahead of the New York Islanders, in my opinion, at least regular season-wise. Devils maybe will fold in the playoffs because they are small and frail for the most part. But next season, I don't know what the outlook is. And even if a new general manager comes in, they can't, again, speaking back to the contracts, how are they going to get rid of Engvall? How are they going to you can't even get anything for Engvall, but how are you going to deal with Engvall? How are you going to deal with Mayfield? How are you going to deal with Polak, Pelech that are on such long-term deals? Horrible deals at this point for the most part. And they got to pay Noah Dobson soon. That's the other thing. They're this season and next, they got Noah Dobson at $4 million. What happens when that becomes $9 million? Which it rightfully should, considering how if he repeats what he did last year, he's going to get $9 million. Yes, you got some money you got some money coming up in the short term, but this team cannot improve next season. Sadly, this is probably the last we've seen of Clutterbuck and Martin. I don't know how you bring them back considering their lackluster play the last 2 to 3 years. It's just been downhill. Let some of the young guys come up. But again, we don't even have that many young guys. It's just mad. Like the inevitable, they're going to be okay for the next 2 to 3 years. But what's the point of being just okay? What's the point? What's the point of this season? What's the takeaways? What's the building blocks on this season? I'm not going to start screaming or anything, but like yes, there were fun times. There were definitely fun times. That overtime game, game 4, I was going ballistic. I was in the building. 6-game win streak to kind of vault themselves back into the playoffs. There was fun times. But there's no besides Noah Dobson probably, but even Noah Dobson last year was a 50-point offensive defenseman. We knew he was a very good player. What are the positives? There's only really negatives. There's only another year on this goddamn core. And the contracts are getting worse. And the division is probably going to get only better. And the Eastern Conference is only going to get better with like the Sabres, Senators, Red Wings only going to get better. Senators, maybe not. Right? They are. I think they are. Okay. I know they actually got worse, the Sabres and the Senators this year, but shut the hell up. Let me just rant. There is no team that has a worse future than the New York Islanders. And I thank Lou Lamoriello for all his service. Again, this is the second most successful. I'm sure this is going to get clipped up or something. That I'm an Islanders hater. This is the second most successful tenure by far in Islanders history. By far, it's not even close. My fucking camera light or my computer light just went out. Sorry. By far, the most successful tenure by a general manager. Five playoff round wins. When you look at the Islanders' history, it's fucking pathetic. Besides the dynasty, this was a success overall. But for my mid-20s into mid-30s, probably, it is going to be hell to be an Islanders fan because we're going to be okay the next 2 to 3 years and then a nuclear rebuild. And at least I'm looking forward to that. At least I'm looking forward to a nuclear rebuild. There'll be something. There's no expectations then. They can't lay you down when they're tanking it up. So at least I have that going. And for the final minute or so, we're going to shave my mustache. If you've been following me on any other platform, you know I started growing it out like a month out. This is a full like month and a half of facial hair growth. I know it's fucking pathetic, but I started growing out with this as well. Shaved this to change the vibes up once they went down 2-0. I'm gonna have to fucking vacuum my carpet after this. It's gonna be embarrassing, but riveting content here. ASMR. It's gonna take like 2 minutes. Islanders next year will finish with 89 points. That's my guess. I didn't have them making the playoffs this year, but I had them like 1 point off, which they were like 1 point in. But when looking at it, not looking that much better, man. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I know this comes off somber. I'm not rooting against them. I've been pretty pessimistic, but I was there at Game 4 cheering my fucking ass off. Lou Lamoriello, man. He does the same thing every single stop. He did it with the Devils. I mean, he built the Devils into three-time Cup champs, so you can't really complain. But towards the end, Devils fans warned me he's going to trade every fucking future asset and send you into a deep, deep rebuild. And that's exactly what's happening. Thankfully, we did have some playoff success. If we never made it to a conference final, this would be historically bad. But we have. And I'm almost done shaving. I will be shocked if they fire Lou Lamoriello. Hope I'm wrong. But the owners love him. And he has provided success. I can't lie. But thank you guys for watching. We're almost done here. I had a Mitch Marner hypothetical trade video that I wanted to post. But the Leafs fucking won, which sucks. That's the other thing. John Tavares, game-winning play for the most part. Even causing that Matthew Knies goal, driving to the net. And the Rangers swept. It's not good right now to be Michael Bortner. I think I'm done for the most part. But yeah, let me know in the comments. What do you think about this? Oh my, seeing yourself freshly shaven. I gotta shave this, but seeing yourself freshly shaven for the first time in a month is a crazy experience. I look a lot younger, but not that I look like 35. But let me know in the comments. What do you think? Just a vent sesh. Thank you for venting with me if you made it this far. Love you guys. Hope your teams are winning, unless you're a Rangers and Leafs fan and have a better future than me. But I'll be seeing the next one.